Subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement is an important part in sentence writing. The subject and verb in a sentence must agree. But how? I'm so glad that you asked. Today we will go over the rules to make sure that all of your subject and verbs agree in a sentence. First, it's important to review singular and plural nouns. A singular noun is one person, place, or thing. Examples include a horse or a dog. A plural noun is more than one person, place, or thing. To make a noun plural, we add s or es to the end of the noun. An example includes horses. A singular subject needs a singular verb. A plural subject needs a plural verb. Now let's go over some rules to help us with subject-verb agreement. Rule number 1. Singular verbs end in s or es. Now this is contrary to what I just said about a singular noun. A singular noun does not end in s or es, but singular verbs do. As you will see in the examples, a horse runs. A horse is a singular subject or singular noun, so we know that we must add s or es to the end of our verb so that it agrees with our subject. A dog chases. It barks loudly. All of the subjects in these examples, the horse, a dog, or it, are singular, so we know that our verb must end in s or es. Rule number 2. Plural verbs do not end in s or es. Like I said before, this stands in contrast to what I just said about a plural subject or a plural noun. We know that plural nouns end in s or es, while plural verbs do not. Let's take a look at some examples. An example includes horses run, dogs chase it, they bark loudly. Horses, dogs, and they are all plural subjects or plural nouns, so that we know our verb does not end in s or es. Run, chase, and bark do reflect that. Rule number 3. For the verb be, use am and is with singular subjects. Use are to agree with plural subjects. Examples include, I am afraid. Paul is fearless. I and Paul are both singular subjects. So we know that with our rule, in the verb be, we would choose am and is to agree with a singular subject. In example number 3, we see the armies are here. The armies is a plural subject. So we know that our verb must be are. It must agree with the plural subject. Now let's practice. American history is/are an interesting subject. We know that American history is a singular subject, so our verb must agree with that. Going back to our rule where it says for the verb be and a singular subject, use is or am. So American history is an interesting subject. I can also check by using my ear. Does it make sense? American history are an interesting subject? Not so much. American history is an interesting subject. Makes much more sense. Our class is/are studying the Civil War. Well, our class is singular. It's a singular subject. So looking back at rule number 3, I know that for the verb be, I will use am or is to agree with singular subjects. So our class is studying the Civil War. Like I said before, I can also check with my ear. Does it make sense? Our class are studying the Civil War? Doesn't make sense at all. Mom cooks my favorite food. Mom is a singular subject. So I know that my verb must agree. A singular verb ends in s or es. So Mom cooks my favorite food. Checking it with the other option, Mom cook my favorite food? It doesn't make sense. Narrative poems tell/tells stories. Well, looking at my subject to see that narrative poems is a plural subject. My verb must agree with that. A plural verb does not end in S or ES. So I know that as narrative poems tell stories. And finally, the hero faces many dangers. Well, the hero is a singular subject. So I know that my verb must agree. A singular verb ends in S or ES. So it would be the hero faces many dangers. Great job! Also remember that another way to check if it is correct is to see if it sounds right, along with the rules that we discussed today. Now that you have passed the Subject-Verb Agreement course, you can conquer the world one sentence at a time. Good luck!